Hi everyone, welcome again to this edition of Artist Spotlight. Today we have a special guest all the way from England, right? Jess Brown. Jessie. Should I call you Jess or Jessie?
Jess. Most people
Jess.
You can call me
Yeah.
Jessie.
Yeah. So Jess, we know each other from Instagram. What else? Where else, right?
I think we both did CBP.
2018. Okay. Yeah. Okay. That's right. We're the 2018. Yeah. And then we connected, and then now it's time to get to know you a little bit more, so other people, everybody can learn more about your work, where you're from, how you get started with your art, what's inspired you, and then what you're working on, so we can get to know you more. Okay, so to get started, let us know about yourself. Where are you? Where are you from?
Yeah, I'm Jess, and I live in Stratford-on-Avon, which is a small town in the middle of England.
Mm-hmm.
It's where Shakespeare was born.
There you go. Must be the water.
Yeah. So there are a lot of tourists when there can be tourists.
Yeah.
But it's very nice. It's near the countryside, and it's got a river running through it. And it's a nice place. And I have a studio at home, so I work from home, paint from home.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I've been painting for quite a long time. I've always loved painting. It was always my favorite thing to do. I can remember when I was about 5 years old, we had a little making box, and it had full of crayons and pencils, and that was always my favorite thing to do.
Yeah.
I went to quite an academic school, and painting, it wasn't really encouraged that much.
Mm-hmm.
It was always my favorite subject, but it wasn't something that was encouraged. So I ended up doing a German degree to start with.
Okay.
And then when I was about 30, as a mature student, I went back to college, and I studied art at college then. So, and I've been painting pretty much ever since.
Yeah. So when you were a kid a while back, the painting that you do, have you been doing abstract since, or is it?
No, I didn't. I was painting landscapes, seascapes, still lives, that kind of thing, for many years. And then I had a bit of a break actually in my art making, because at one period of my life I had to pay a mortgage on my own. Painting, it's very up and down, and you don't quite. So I was working at that point. I was working in an office, and I put my painting on the back burner, really. Probably for about 10 years. I did it a bit, but I was busy doing other things. And it's probably about 8 years ago, I've been in a position to paint, professionally again. And this time round, it's almost like I've had two art careers. I've been painting abstract. I used to do semi-abstract seascapes, landscapes, still lives, but I just love the freedom of painting in an abstract way. And I love the fact that the viewer can bring their own story to it.
Right.
So you're not telling them what to see.
Yeah, so it's more free interpretation of your work in a way. You have your own story, but other people can make their own. Yeah, but so it's slowly. So your work is slowly morphing into more of this abstract.
Yeah, I mean, it probably is pretty much abstract now for about 8 years or so. I tend to include, I often include maybe like a boat shape or a cup shape, or maybe even like a star constellation in some
Okay. Yeah.
like sometimes, I don't always do this, but I sometimes bring in an element of something that people recognize, or maybe a flower shape into the
yeah. Or bridges, right?
Bridges, yeah.
You forgot about it.
Bridges. I did
Those are the things. Tell us more about the bridge. Yeah, I remember those. Yeah.
Yes, I walk my dog every day along the river, and there's lovely bridges. And I just love the shapes. I love the metaphor of the bridge, you know, the connection and bringing people together, and just I love the arch shape. So I did a whole series on bridges. Really fun, and in fact, I do still put a bridge in sometimes.
Still there, yeah.
New work, but the work I'm doing at the moment. Should we talk about that now? Or
sure, yeah, perfect. Yeah, from the bridge, we connecting it to something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's aerial views. I love the views from a plane. So when everything looks simplified, you know, when you see the fields or the landscape from above, and you can see the lines in the landscape, I love that. So I've been kind of thinking about that when I've been doing the one behind me. Actually, that's a work in progress. It's not finished.
Okay. But
it's kind of flying over olive groves. We went to Malta. And it's that kind of feeling. It's a work in progress, but it's that's what I'm envisaging when I'm painting at the moment, is you know, from above.
Okay, so that's that behind you there. It's some kind of aerial view of a place, right?
Yeah. So it's just suggestion of shapes, and I'm going to bring in a few more lines and landscapey lines into it. But it's we went to Malta last summer, and there were a lot of olive groves, and I've always loved the sense of perspective from being the sort of the simplified shapes.
Because I remember you did some like maps as well, right? Some sort of kind of suggestive idea of a maps, and also
I did. I collaged in some actual maps. I've got some, and I might do that. Maybe not on this one, but I've got some smaller collagey pieces that I've put maps in. I've got some lovely old maps of all places all over Britain.
So you do, are those collages then for using maps? And then are you using a board or canvas when you do that?
For the maps, I use mainly board, but I put some. It has worked, because I'm always concerned about sticking paper materials to canvas, because it to be durable. I have got small canvases that I have put some collage maps on, and they seem fine. But on the whole, I tend to do collage on board.
Okay, so when you did going back to the bridge again, I guess, did you usually come up with the ideas whenever you walk through near the bridge, or is it like, is there a flow that you did, like in the morning you walk the dog or whatever the time is, and then you come back, you kind of bring that view or feelings and all that into the studio? Is it that systematic for you, or is it more organic?
Probably more organic. It's a beautiful old bridge. There's several bridges, but one main bridge is like a really old bridge, and it's just so lovely just to see the boats going under it. And it's just those shapes, the arches, boats sailing through. It's just it's an old stone bridge, and it's just a lovely shape. And I think that just
put it in there. That's
really. I mean, my paintings. I mean, we talked about this a bit before, but you know, these shapes and these motifs of bridges or maps, or they kind of help tell a story, but really my paintings are about shape and color, and kind of connecting with people on an emotional level, so that hopefully people have an emotional response. But you know, the color and the shape are the main
thing.
Really.
And you're using acrylics, right? Acrylics. And how about the marking, the drawing? Are those
I use a lot of
pastels?
You do as well. I use quite a lot of soft pastel.
Okay.
I mean, that red, I don't know if you could, that's pastel. And then it kind of smudges with the paint. And I've actually, watching you paint, Nino, I've also bought some of the Montana pens.
The markers.
Yeah, markers.
This one.
And they're great, but I find the colors quite, because the ones I bought they're ready mixed. They're quite bright, and
they're brighter.
You can't. I think you can mix them and then fill them yourself, but the ones that are red, that I've got anyway, they're very sort of strong, bright colors. And I would like to mix them a little bit.
There's some colors that are pretty bright. So and it's kind of, if you look at them at the spectrum of color, that compared to, say, you know, acrylic paint, this is pretty limited if you compare the two. So it's just an addition, you know, it's a complementary things that you do with your paint.
And yours, you always you know, you layer it, don't you? So you might do the then you paint over it. So
exactly, so it becomes a secondary thing. That you kind of see, you know, almost like you can imagine using pencil or, you know, any other tools that kind of precise drawing could create the same thing, right?
I need to experiment a bit. I bought them and I've used the white one, but I've got a bright orange and a bright pink.
Well, you have bright red right now over there behind you, so maybe something there. I don't know. Cool. So are you working on series for now?
In the summer, I've got a couple of I'm in something called UK Artists, and they are showing at a couple of places down in Devon in England. I haven't got the dates actually off the top of my head, but so I'm going to do a few pieces for that. So, and also I like to have work, and then because sometimes I get commissions and people, you know, sometimes buy direct from my website. So I like to just have, you know, pieces available that people can look at. Okay, cool.
Well, so what do you think your next thing here after the series? Are you going to continue doing series based on what you're doing there?
I was just thinking about the series idea, and like I said, I've been thinking about aerial views, which kind of carries on from the map idea that I did. Which they were probably smaller pieces, but some of these are bigger, like the one behind me. And I've I've just sort of started that. Excuse me.
Okay.
So I'm just going to see where that takes me. I want to do about 10 of those. But I was thinking about this whole idea of a theme for series, and I got a bit stuck a few years ago, because I had decided I wanted to include a cup shape, because I like that, or a boat or a cup, and just sort of. But somehow, having said I was going to do that, I wanted to do something else. So I've decided I'm going to just paint what I want to paint, and then look at the common theme once.
Got it.
Once I've done it. So it's but it's got an idea. It's this nice aerial view.
So most of the pieces that you, well, what are you doing right now? It's about that size behind you there, or is it smaller or bigger?
I've got 4 that size, and then probably 3 12-inch by 12-inch, and then I've got a couple of sort of 50 by 50.
Mm-hmm.
I'm swapping between inches and centimeters. Yeah, I don't know about inches, but kind of probably between that one, slightly smaller than that one.
Yeah.
So there's a range.
Yeah. It's interesting that we talked about this earlier. I think it would be good for everyone to hear about, you have this idea of creating the series using a certain shape. In your case, is a cup shape or boat shape or some kind of shape. And then tell me more about that. Like, you felt like it's a good to have that intention, but then sometimes it creates too much of I don't know, boundaries, pressure, maybe. Is it?
Yeah, it's funny because I've done this in the past. I've like the bridge series. I love doing that, and I intended to do that, and it worked really well. But there was some, I don't know. I just having said I'm going to include these cup shapes, I somehow didn't be inspired to build it. And it was like stopping me because I couldn't do it properly, and then I was like annoyed with myself, and I got a bit stuck, and then I just decided to let that go and just I want to paint, which is and then kind of be a bit looser, I think.
It create more space for you to kind of experiment and just and be like, listen to what the body or the paint or the piece wants you to do, in a way.
Exactly, because I'm quite an intuitive painter, and I feel I'm much better. I just paint what I feel like the painting needs, rather than I must create a vase or you know.
But then at the end, whatever the end is, when you kind of want to put them all together, right? Like, it's okay, this is part of this group, whatever that means. So I think that's kind of interesting. Thought there, like you either start the beginning or using kind of plan, you want to do this and then do it, or organically do it and then
keep the connection.
Makes sense.
And I think that's probably a better way for me to do it is actually paint the paintings and then think about the connection, because there is a connection, but it might not be what you thought it was. I think that's a better way for me to work. Anyway, I think we're all different, aren't we? But
Good. Well, I'm excited to see all your pieces soon. When is that going to be done, you think? What are you working on? Is there a deadline you have to go, or no deadline?
Well, the couple of shows I mentioned to you are in August, so I've got plenty of time. But I do have, like I mentioned, a couple of galleries, and they want some work from me. So I'd like to get them finished, by the end of March. I'm going to say that. That idea. What would you paint if you had absolutely no thought of selling it whatsoever? I always have in the back of my mind, will they like this? Will
That's a tough one, isn't it? Yeah.
No, and I always try and go, be quiet.
I know. Yeah.
It's so in a way, not having a lot of deadlines and shows and things is a real luxury, because you can just think, I'm just going to paint.
That's good. I think that would be freeing for you to do that. I like that. Okay. So, before we wrap it up, how about an advice for your past self or for other artists?
I was thinking about this because you did mention you might be asking me this. My advice, I know we're all always advised to explore everything and look for our joy. And I think that's really true, and that's really great. But I think once you've found what you love, stick with it, because I think sometimes we're tempted to just try all these different things, and sometimes, it's better to dig really deep than 12 feet deep rather than 12 feet wide.
Interesting. Okay, yeah.
So I think sometimes we get drawn into, it's a balance, of course, because we need to be curious and stay engaged in, new challenges in our artwork. But I think sometimes people, or perhaps it's me, myself, do too many different things, and I just think sometimes it's you get more out of it if you really investigate one area and look at that and just keep doing it.
Yeah, interesting. It's a interesting challenge or balance. This is a balancing act between you're interested in something, and then you keep focus on that thing. Let's say, now let me ask you, give me an example of what you're saying there. Focus on something. Is it more like whether you're interested in art versus interested in sport? Do you want to stick with, or is it more like in art in general? You're interested in landscape versus interested in abstract?
Yeah, I suppose I was thinking from that point of view, is that thinking about myself, when you're maybe, you're just starting out, you try all these different things, you landscapes, seascapes, collage, mixed media, abstract paintings, and you like a magpie, and you try all these different things, which is great. And but then some people never move off that stage.
You're just trying different things and that's it. Okay.
I mean, I always remember there was somebody who was talking about this artist that I think it was a Spanish artist, and he painted dogs, and that's all he ever did, or like slightly abstracty dogs, but they were brightly coloured, and he had a whole lifetime of painting these dogs. I'm not saying anyone should do that, but but I think if you really get to know a particular subject, or a particular style of painting, we evolve, but I think you kind of maybe get more out of it than if you keep
stick to it.
Yeah,
it is a challenging thing, really, like especially as artists, or most people, I guess. I'm guilty on that. I like shiny new things, like or doing abstract. I see people doing nice landscape. I want to do landscape, or realistic portrait. I want to do that too. So sometimes I just have to, like you said, like kind of snap out of it. Stop it, focus on what you like, and then
I think
continue.
I think it depends what you want to do, of course, as well, because if you want to sell your work particularly, it's nice to be consistent, perhaps, to some extent. But if you don't, and you just want to do it for fun,
explore, that's a different thing. Or you can also explore on the side, and you don't show anybody. But then it will eat up your time, right?
There's only so many hours in the day, isn't there?
Right. It's almost like if you stick to one, it's like an athlete too. You invested in that craft, and slowly you just have to keep at it. And then that you will find your niche in a way, right? Exactly. Your thing. So,
and I think you only find that by actually doing it, not by thinking about it.
Yeah, you're right. So, great point. Well, thank you for that.
That's okay.
No, that's a
question.
Sorry. Oh yeah. You can ask anything.
I was going to ask you, because you're such a busy man. How much would you say? What proportion of your week do you paint? I mean, how many days painting are you able, or hour? Of your available time?
I mean,
and how much do you spend doing all the stuff that we need to do around the painting, you know, art related, you know?
Yeah, I never thought about like the time, because it's almost like I'm trying to weave in my painting into my flow. So it's not like I'm doing Friday only paintings, things like that. I can't do that. I just have to make everything part of my flow. So let's say I'm talking with you right now, and then after I'm done, I can just look back at, say, my work, and okay, that's fine for now. I don't want to work on it. Or I can, you know, I feel like I want to edit that. So I just edit for, 15, 30 minutes, maybe 15 minutes, and then leave. So I just nibble. How about that? Nibbling on different things.
Like 3 hours painting or anything like that?
No, I can't do that long of a painting. I think I do the longest maybe 1 hour. Well, partly because things needs to get dry, and then I get the feeling of I'm looking at it too close or too long. I need to take a break, because I find that every time I look at things the next day, or even the next hour, I see different things, or fresh eyes. So I just need to force myself to kind of take a break from it. I mean, one way. Sorry. One way to do it too, like if I work on multiple things at the same time, say 24 by 24 pieces, it's pretty small. I can switch around, individually, and then I can probably spend an hour on that, just moving things around, because some paint are dry by the time I move around. But then again, I like to stop. So I didn't get to kind of burn out my eyes, but
that's nice.
Yeah.
I mean, I do that by, like, this will say this is a work in progress behind me, and I put them around, like, where this is where I do my admin, and I have one in the kitchen, so I just catch them when I'm not really concentrating out of the corner of my eye. And then you think, oh, I know what that needs, because when you're just staring at them. Do you work in a series, or do you just work on one, finish it, and work on the next one, finish it, or do you have like 3 or 4 on the go?
I usually have multiple things on the shelf, or there, and then just let it sit there and come back to it. I mean, even my old pieces that kind of like maybe it was done at one point, and then look at it again, I don't think it's you kind of evolve, and this things just keep changing. So
exactly. I mean, I have some paintings that are like 20 years old, or just, or even pieces that I did in college, or and I haven't thrown them away, because one day I'll rework them.
You'll update those. So anyways, I hope that helps, but thank you for sharing your work and your story, and we know you a little bit better, and good luck with the new series, and I can't wait to see them. Please share.
Thank you.
Okay, so I guess I'll see you around, and again, thank you for the time today.
Thank you.
All right. Bye.
Bye.